way up? Or?
Of course.
What'd you take from him?
He was my era. You know, the whole hit, not get hit, to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know, he's
Mayweather surprised Terence Crawford at his training camp, giving him a much-needed boost in the lead-up to the September Mecca fight. Terence Crawford is more certain than ever that he will defeat Canelo in September. After the unbeaten boxing superstar Floyd Mayweather visited his training camp, Mayweather's endorsement of a fighter who could one day surpass his legendary Source 52-0 undefeated boxing record is a potent gesture. Floyd Mayweather was the first of just 2 boxers to defeat Canelo Alvarez. His purpose in Crawford's gym was to provide advice and tactics that would be essential to winning on fight night. Although Crawford is already capable of defeating Alvarez, his odds are greatly increased by Mayweather's guidance. Crawford's footwork was one of the main areas Mayweather concentrated on because he wants him to be fluid during the fight.
So, you think you guys got a lot in common?
in some aspects, yeah, we do.
How are you guys different?
We both box. I think, you know, I take more.
If I take Floyd Mayweather in his absolute prime, and I take Manny Pacquiao in his absolute prime,
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd still beats him.
Floyd beat everybody.
You don't believe there's a guy at 140, 147 in the history of boxing that could have beat Floyd in his prime?
It'd be tough. Floyd, man, that boy, man, that's the GOAT, man. That boy bad.
What makes it, I mean, what, because, and I told people this, I said, look at Floyd. I said, Floyd, it's not that he trains, I mean, it's his life. And from the very beginning, he said, I want to be the
only 2 fighters who have defeated Canelo, Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol, both possess this quality. Crawford will need to replicate the same mobility using footwork to hit without getting hit in order to win. Canelo can become frustrated and lose his rhythm as a result of this tactic. When asked to predict the fight after their training session, Mayweather was unambiguous. Terence Crawford will prevail. Mayweather declared, Crawford has all it takes to defeat Canelo. He will. Remember, I'm wagering on Crawford just like I did on Bivol versus Canelo. I'm undoubtedly profitable. Mayweather also discussed his own well-known catchweight bout with Canelo in a recent interview.
Gave the sport of boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle. They should feel that way. So if he feel that way, you know, more power to him. I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually.
It wasn't my idea to compete at a catchweight, but I did. It's in the publications, so anyone can look it up, Floyd remarked. I suppose Canelo thought I was scared of him at one point. Floyd doesn't want to fight me, he said. At 152 pounds, I'm willing to meet him. So I said, let's do it 152 or 152 and a half, calling his bluff. There was nothing preventing Canelo from adding more weight after the weigh-in, even though he made the weight. I think he arrived at 168 or almost 170. Conversely, I weighed in at 151 or 152.
It was at a catch weight, but it wasn't my idea. So at one particular time, you guys can, anybody, you can go online and pull this up. It was an article. So with Canelo said, I believe Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him.
Given that Terence Crawford is getting ready to advance to a new weight class in less than a month, it's possible that he found resonance in this lesson as well. Fans frequently draw comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather Jr., but Bud never attempts to downplay the 52-0 legend's legacy. He actually has a great deal of respect for Mayweather. Crawford praised Floyd when questioned about their similarities. Crawford acknowledged Mayweather's greatness by stating, "He's the king." "We're a little different since I take more chances, but we have a lot in common in other ways," he added. Depending on which Mayweather you're referring to, Floyd was also taking a lot of chances earlier in his career. Are you referring to Pretty Boy or Money? Since Pretty Boy was a can-destroy kind of person, he was unable to maintain the same power as he began to sustain hand injuries. In addition, he was advancing and taking on more formidable opponents.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. If you talk about Money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
They have many things in common. As Crawford mentioned, however, supporters and commentators are still contrasting the two combatants in an attempt to predict the winner. Crawford was even selected by one recent site as the most likely winner in the event that the two faced off. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has given more sweet science seminars than anybody else when it comes to boxing prowess. He was able to dissect opponents at two different stages of his career thanks to his sharp jab, excellent timing, and skillful counterpunching. Stated that Money Mayweather was more strategic, defeating opponents with technical skill and ring IQ, whilst Pretty Boy Floyd was more aggressive, bringing the fight to his opponents. The legend that is Floyd Mayweather Jr. was shaped in part by both iterations. Nevertheless, the way Crawford defeated Errol Spence in his most recent bout still amazes boxing fans.
He drops him again. That's a hard knockdown that time with the left hook. How about that? Keeps battling, falling forward. Uppercut! Terence Crawford has stopped.
Bud had exceptional boxing talent, whether it was through his power jab that consistently broke through Spence's defenses, his punching in traffic, or the timing of his counters. Even if he had done it previously, we had never witnessed him subdue someone of Spence's caliber in such a manner. Is unmatched in terms of sheer boxing prowess, but Crawford's style is just as explosive, effective, and dangerous. What would happen in a hypothetical bout between a top-tier Crawford and a top-tier Mayweather? Who would make the initial jab? Who could counterpunch more successfully? It might be preferable to declare it a draw because there are so many variables. How often have we witnessed Mayweather entice his opponents to the middle of the ring, figure out their rhythm, assess their tactics, and then devise a plan to destroy them? As an unbeaten 5-division world champion, Mayweather earned a place in the Hall of Fame thanks to his ring IQ and motto, hit and not get struck. Crawford has demonstrated a strong ring IQ throughout his career and is now undefeated at both junior and welterweight. Crawford may have the speed advantage due to his snappy delivery and angled strikes, but Mayweather displayed lightning-fast hand speed, particularly on counters. 20-7 of Mayweather's 50 victories were knockouts. Crawford, however, is still active and has 40 victories with 31 knockouts. Relive Crawford's dominance over Spence by dropping him 3 times before a decisive TKO in the 9th round.
You want to change you want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom, this toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you here and it's gonna go boom. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight. You come straight from the shoulders, boom. Open it up a little bit, bam. But get that, there you go. So, yeah, so you want to come, everything you do, you want to come from the shoulders, boom. Just turn it. When you coming in there, you hear, boom. And that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs, all over.
It was never meant to be easy work for a body-snatching warrior like Spence, who methodically defeated Yordnisuka, Sean Porter, and Kell Brook to unite the welterweight class. However, Crawford made it appear easy, and a big part of that was his strength. Mayweather was the epitome of defensive boxing when he positioned himself in the corner, raised his shoulder into the Philadelphia shell, deflected punches with his arm, and then fired back with surgical counters. Crawford's defense is likewise sharp, but Mayweather made it almost flawless. What would the actual outcome of Crawford versus prime Mayweather be? Crawford may be the busier, more aggressive fighter early on following a tense, feeling out first round, hitting blows even though many of them are absorbed by Floyd's elbow and shoulder. However, Mayweather's rhythm would become more consistent by the middle rounds, when he would start banking rounds and pummel Crawford with punches. Remember to enable alerts so you can be informed whenever we post new, excellent material like this.